Go right ahead, Melissa.
Hi, my name is Melissa Smith. I'm running for Oregon County Treasurer. And the reason why I said that first is I work for the Oregon County Prosecutor's Office. I've been there 7 years.
Hot dog, a chicken, or both?
I don't really know what to say. I'm married. Tomorrow will be 35 years. I've got 3 kids. My job at the courthouse, I work as a prosecutor. I'm a secretary there. I do the restitution and bad checks, and that just means when people pay me for our victims, then we pay that out, and I just bounce books for that. That is it. Short and sweet.
LaJuana, you're up. And you're running for treasurer, right?
Yes.
All right.
So most of y'all know me from the license office. I help you renew your driver's license and vehicle. At that job, I have to balance every day and keep up with the inventory. I help Christy with the deposits and stuff. I've been there 11 years. Before that, I did some odd and end jobs, and then I also worked at McLean Forest Products for many years and did their accounting there. So I would like your support in trying something new and do your treasurer, and just been an Oregon County resident my whole life. Have kids, grandkids. I'm engaged to Jimmy Howard. Getting married soon. So it will be.
Does he know that?
He does.
Do now.
Surprise!
There you go. You knew you came here for a reason.
That's why I brought him. But anyhow, I would like to help you out. I think I would like to try something new for a while.
I'm sorry I didn't ask before if anybody had any questions for our first speaker, Melissa. And any questions for LaJuana?
I have a question. So you said that you work for McLean
Forest Products.
Forest Products in accounting, and then with the revenue and balancing. So if you ever come up with a instance that maybe you're off balance, I mean, so what's the protocol there?
We do not leave that license bureau until we find
To the penny. To the penny.
every day. Every day
Right.
has to match. And mistakes are made. If we collected too much, we stay and figure out where it is. We call that person. We say, your money's here, you want to come tonight and get it. That's happened maybe once or twice. I have forgot to get a payment for a driver's license before and called the gentleman, and he come right down and paid it so that I didn't have to pay for it. But yeah, so it's kept right to the penny. The inventory is done every morning because we have to keep our plates locked up and account for those. If they were to come in and check that, it has to be in the inventory book, and then once a month we do the inventory. They give us a printout, we have to check it, send it in within so many days, and then we do a semi-inventory twice a year.
So you'd be very acclimated to transition into that office. Wonderful. Well, I do know that I'm going to speak to, but just knowing you in that office, I have gone in there for help. I had to get my driver's license changed and all that. Very thorough, very professional, and I mean, but very friendly too. So it was, but she was like on it. She was like, nope, we got to have that because I had to wait for the bank to bring something up for my, she was like, I can't do it. I'm like, but it's here. She's like, nope, I have to have the paper. So I appreciated that. I appreciated that thoroughness and your help.
She also gets
And we've got
bravo from the state all the time for her good work.
I'm Wes Buckner, running for Oregon County Treasurer. I've lived in Oregon County my whole life. I served on the city council up here for about 5 years. I just got off there a few months ago because I sold my house in town, moved out into the county. I work at the school. I've been there at the school now for the last 7-8 years. A lot of you may know me. I worked at the grocery store for several years before then. I'm just got a great interest in things going on in the county and keeping things straight for our county. I love this place. It's home, always has been, and always will be. And I would like a chance to show the people of Oregon County that this place really means something to me. I appreciate your support.
We are the ones that push all of the papers through, that the attorneys file, judges give us, we do all.
Okay. Everybody understand that this is different than the clerk that her sister runs, right? Okay, go ahead.
My name's Amanda Osborn. I've lived in Oregon County my whole life. I've been married to my husband Michael for 23 years. We've got 2 children, and I've worked in the circuit clerk's office now here for 4 years. Before that, I worked in the sheriff's office for 10 years as the administrative assistant, and I did all of our budgeting and a lot more, dispatching, any kind of administrative work. I did all of that, and I am now working on that in the circuit clerk's office as well. I think that's everything.
Do you feel the easy question? No question? All right, well, let me see where I am on the list, because I was trying to get a count on that. How many folks you guys show up for the meeting? What's going on? So, next, we have John Walters Sr. John Walters Sr. There you are. You said sign yourself in. Sign you in.
You signed me in, I didn't sign in. But thank you for encouraging this
What
party.
did you say, sign you in?
I thought we were signing in.
What is he running for?
I'll let you do that. No, me and family, you do a better job tonight.
Let me check and see who this next person is. If she's running by herself or not. All right, we're going with collector of revenue.
You missed somebody.
That's okay, I'm short, I'm easy to look over.
You know, for some reason, I put the check mark by your name and I had number 1 and number 2 on the left, but I was more important with my right-hand side, so I'm glad that you, somebody, thank you. Whoever.
You want that?
You need this, Larry.
Well,
Got everybody on, Larry.
I got everybody over.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here today. I hope you've had a wonderful Father's Day weekend with your families. For those who don't know me, I'm Crystal Howell, and I'm running for Circuit Clerk of Oregon County. I've lived in Oregon County for over 30 years. I graduated from Mammoth Spring and attended college for pre-law. My husband Clayton and I have raised 4 children and have been blessed with 6 grandchildren. Professionally, I spent 10 years working for Airvac, where I specialized in software implementation. When Airvac relocated, I chose to stay in our community and pursue my passion for the legal field. I've spent 10 years working in the court system and have experience in every division of the circuit clerk's office, including civil, criminal, probate, and accounting, and I've completed 37 jury trials. Throughout my career, I have served on statewide focus groups. I represent Region 9 as an officer with the Missouri Professional Association of Court Clerks and have worked alongside clerks across Missouri to improve processes and software systems. These experiences have given me a broad understanding of both daily operations at the clerk's office and challenges facing our courts today. The circuit clerk's office is often the first point of contact for our citizens navigating the court system. While clerks cannot give legal advice, we play a vital role, in ensuring cases are processed accurately, court records are maintained, and the public receives professional and respectful service. I am running because I believe experience matters. I have dedicated my career to serving the courts and the public, and I'm ready to bring that experience to Organ County. I look forward to answering any questions you might have. And before I close, I'd like to thank all the fathers, grandfathers, father figures. I hope you all have a wonderful Father's Day. Thank you for the example that you set and the impact that you've made with not only your families, but with the community members.
Next, we have Donna Morrison, who's collector of revenue. And Donna expressed that she probably wouldn't have a prepared speech, and it wouldn't be a very lengthy speech. So, with that, they're all prepared for the short.
My name is Donna Morrison. I've worked in the courthouse for 10 years, 5 in the clerk's office, 5 in the collector's office. As the deputy clerk, I've been to the collector's training for 2 years, gotten certificates in both of those trainings. I don't know. I will say, one of my opponents mentioned about being open, something that they would change would be open during lunch hour. It doesn't work that way. Our office works with the assessor's office and with the DMV's office. So if our office stayed open, all the offices would have to be open. So it really wouldn't make much sense for us to be open for somebody to sit there to wait for another, because they're wanting to get their driver's license renewed or something like that. So it would just be a waste of money. Okay.
All right, any questions? No questions? Andy Wheeler.
Right behind you.
Go
You
right
want
ahead.
that behind there.
I prepared a speech, but I'm not going to read it. My name's Sandy Wheeler. Lived here my entire life. I work for the city of Alton. I do daily balances just like LaJuana. Morning, night, I run reports. I do deposits. They all have to match. I don't leave unless it matches, or I'll go home and just stress about it. That's about it. Married, 3 kids, 4 counting his. I got a grandbaby that's the best thing ever. Any questions? No? Good.
Next person signed in is Jeffery Peace. Jeffery Peace. Oh, there you are. All right. You got the floor.
My name is Jeffery Peace. I'm running for presiding commissioner. I've knocked on probably around 3,000 doors. And I did that to figure out what the issues were in the county and for support. I've encountered just about everything, from guns to guard animals of any kind. If you want some real good stories, you can ask my dad. He's got it. And there has been 3 major issues that keep coming up with the people that I've talked to. Number 1 is they want the whole truth about what is going on with everything involved with the county and the commission. Their next concern is the county roads. They're wanting more bang for their buck and want to know where all that is, where the progress is going on all of that. The next problem, is a reoccurring problem, is a spending problem. And I know that is an issue because I've looked at the 2025 financial statement, which was over budget. I've looked at the 2026 budget, which is 1.1 million over. And every election, there's new taxes on the back. Lost my spot. And I would like to look into all those issues with elected and make some changes to them. And the first one would be January 1 on the next budget for next year. Thank everybody for coming. That's all I got.
I've got a question. Sure. Yep, Mr. Peace, I don't know you. You running for this job, the presiding commissioner. That's a pretty important job here in this county. We've got some commissioners that have worked very hard to get us where we are today, and hopefully in a better position to, you know, better ourselves. Just kind of tell us here tonight, what experience do you have as a young man? Do you know anything about economics? Do you own a business? Do you ever run a business? Things of that nature.
Well, I live on a family farm, which has been pretty successful. My family owns two businesses. I went to college with my degree, and I took a bunch of classes on finance. When I was doing that, graduated from degrees, actually.
Took some classes in finance, you said?
Yeah, took classes in finance. I can read and understand the budget and the financial statement. I can down with my checkbook.
Do you think that taking classes at college or something stands up to somebody that's been in business all their life?
Yes, sir.
I really don't think so. Anyway.
But Jeffrey, you're willing to learn how to do all of this, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you will have support
Yeah,
from
knocking on 3,000 doors, I'd say I'd probably dedicate it to
Yeah.
I was friends with Ralph Mills.
Yeah, he was. Ralph was a good guy.
All right. Any
I
other
got his
questions?
old square bells that he wore out. I finished wearing it out.
Okay,
Well, thank you.
you bet. Mr. Stubblefield, you're up.
Yeah. All right, I'm David Stubblefield. I've lived here 66 years. I have been a commissioner for 5 years as of the 19th day of this month. I was appointed by the governor and went from there. I ran 4 years ago and was successful. I assumed the office then, again. And then, about the finance, I looked at the 25s and 26s also. When we started January 1st, 25, we had $2.511 million in the bank. When we ended up December 31st, 25, we had $3.17 million in the bank. We also have had $1 million jail project going on, haven't we, Jason?
It was overdue.
Yeah, it was overdue.
Gonna make the county money.
That will make the county money. We have spent $500,000 under him and Terry, and now we have appropriated $500,000 under Jason, or Jay, and Dennis Morgan. That will be paid for at the end of the month, next month. We'll be open at the end of next month. That will generate in itself $120,000 to $200,000 a year, because we have to transport all of the inmates that we can't house, right, Sheriff?
Yes, sir.
We can only house 7. We will be able to house 32. Close? Okay. The other thing, I am very pro-growth. The coffers, which I have, the tax revenues, the tax increases we have been voted down, but the tax increases have come from businesses that have come to this county, and we are open for business. We have a nice young man that bought the Cisco's out here that makes airplane parts. He is wanting to build a 44,000 square foot building in this county to hire 30 to 40 people. We have had Jordans come in. They've hired 30 to 40 full-timers, part-timers revenue. We've had others come in, other things come in. And that is what I'm for, and I'm for pro-growth. I was in business with my folks 30 years. I was in the cattle business for over 40 years. I've been married to Kelly, my wife, for
Gotta get this right.
too long. That's what I feel today. But that's just my story, and you know, I've run this, Oregon County's been a passion of mine, and I'd like to see it prosper. And with business and jobs, we can do that. And to get out, I go to meetings. I went to a meeting 3 weeks ago, GoCop. I'm working on a tax relief, it's a capital gains tax zone for Oregon County. It's never happened in Oregon County. Thayer would be involved. Alton would be involved. People with capital gains that have sold their places, have money, you know, sitting there that they, if they turned it in, would be taxed severely. We will have if this is passed, we're one of 511 zones trying. So, but if we get it, you can take your capital gains and invest in this area 5, 7, 10 years. Jinx, you'll know about this, don't you? And at the end of the 5, 7, 10 years, whichever you sign up for, you will have a lot better tax relief than you had. And I'm working on that. And I just worked with the state rep right there, MoDOT. We was up at Skokog Tuesday. And I try to go to every meeting I can. I try to go to Jeff City, because without some representation, what do we get? Thank you. With that, I have no more. Any questions?
I have something to say, and something you were talking about. I was invited to go up to Piedmont, a couple of months ago. They had a roundtable discussion on how to attract businesses. And what I took away from it, besides an awfully good meal, and if anybody's ever, has anybody ever seen this religious organization? It's kind of north of Piedmont. It's a multi-million-dollar spot up there. It's all based on religion, and they have big, huge accommodations for speakers. They have the ability to make 40 meals, which I took advantage of. But anyway, what I took away from that was about a 3-hour talk by leading people in the state to attract business. They said the number one thing was daycare. If you don't have daycare in your area, you're not going to be looked at seriously for major development in industry. And they say that the most productive and the people that they rate the highest is if churches have daycare programs, because ladies would love to go to work. Who's going to watch the kids? And that's a big part of the recruiting process. So any of you that are involved with the county, such as David and the other commissioners, keep that in the back of your mind.
Schools are high on the list also. Yes, sir.
So anyway, did anybody have any questions for David? Sorry to interrupt.
I've got one. On the tax relief, is that if you, on the capital gains?
Capital gains. Gotcha.
If you sell, and is it only allowed to be reinvested into the county that you sold in?
No, no. This would make a zone. This would be Thayer Alton zone. You could invest to them 2 zones, or
so it'd be
you can,
the same county that you, or somebody from out of state could invest?
Yes. Yes, we're not limited. Branson has had this for a long time. I've talked to them people over there, and it went. So that's why I'm trying.
Mr. Stubblefield, is this the same thing you were talking about to the Thayer Rotary last
Yes.
week?
Mm-hmm.
And is that not called an opportunity zone? Is that what that's called?
Opportunity. Yeah. Capital gains investment opportunity zone, yes.
Okay. I thought it was clear on that. I just want to make sure. Yep.
For those of you who don't know, I asked him, he's asking some very pointed questions there, and his name is Bob Crace, in case you don't know who he is. He's been in business and been in there for a long time, I guess. Your whole life, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not running for any office.
All right. Next,
Here you go.
we have Judge Allen, Harvey Allen.
My name is Harvey Allen. I'm an associate circuit judge here in Oregon County, and I'm currently serving my 16th term, or 16th year. So I've been doing this for a long time, a lot of experience doing it. Basically, someone asks me once in a while, what do I do? And I say, well, I might be handling a murder arraignment, and in 3 minutes, I'm handling a dog running at large in Alton. So I basically do it all with some exceptions concerning dollar amount for circuit level cases. However, I often get assigned as a circuit judge too. So when we talk about associate circuit judges, it has certain duties, but then also I get assigned as a circuit judge. So I've done many cases at the circuit level where I'm also acting in both capacities. So that's pretty common, especially on jury trials and things such as that. I grew up in Oregon County, grew up in Thayer, went away to college, Missouri State University. Now today I'm going to say that they call it a Republican picnic. I wasn't sure what a candidate should wear to a Republican picnic. I knew my robe wouldn't be good because it would be too hot. And I thought no one wants to see me in flip-flops, shorts, and a faded Kansas City Chiefs shirt. So I went somewhere in the middle. But concerning the training, I went to school in law school in Kansas City. Went back to Springfield, practiced for the law firm there for 5 years. Came back to Thayer, practiced in Thayer on my own for 20 years. Was recruited by 2 judges who asked me to run as judge. And so I ran as judge, and I've been doing that now. Like I said, this is my 16th year. Last time I ran, I was having some severe health issues, and I currently have overcome those. So in any event, doing well with that, and this will be my final term, of course. But in any event, happy to do that. I think we make a difference in Oregon County. I started the drug treatment court here in Oregon County. Been very successful. There's nothing like someone coming to you when they graduate and they tell you that you saved my life. That's something that's moving. That's something that's worthwhile. Nothing like a grown man, 50-year-old man coming up to you after his child graduates from treatment court and coming up to you and hugging you and saying, you saved my daughter. And it's a team approach, but I'm just going to say it's that successful. You know, are we successful with everyone? Answer to that is no. But we're successful with a large percentage of them. And I'm very proud of the work that we've done. So I've had 2 ladies in particular that said, had you not put me in jail, on the day you put me in jail, I would be dead. So you do that, you feel like you're doing something that's productive, that's beneficial for our community, that you're serving our community, you're doing what needs to be done in that capacity. So I also act as a probate, I do probate work, I do the juvenile, I'm the juvenile judge, wear many hats, juvenile judge, I'm the treatment court judge, I handle all initial criminal cases of every kind. Primarily I do a lot of divorces and separations and child custody cases and everything along that line. So if it's something like that, I do it. Now, I'm going to say that concerning political issues, judges are generally supposed to be apolitical. In other words, I don't take a position on different things that are political issues. I'm supposed to stay out of those, so I stay out of those. But you mentioned some of the Republicans of the local party who have passed away. I'm just going to say most of those. I was a member of the Oregon County Young Republicans back in 1981 when all those people were actually young Republicans too. They were in their 30s, I was 20. And the reason there were no old Republicans, at that time we were all young Republicans because there was no old Republicans. They were all new. I'm the first Republican judge in Oregon County. So lifelong Republican, conservative in that regard. And then I just want to serve my community and my county. So I appreciate your vote for that. And if you have any other questions about my qualifications, I actually have some flyers over here. It tells about I probably have 1,000 hours training as a judge. A lot of training, a lot of experience. So if I can answer any questions for you individually, please feel free to do that. Yes?
Do you have any grandbaby?
Oh, yes.
That seems to be pretty important.
I was going to start with that actually. So
It's pretty cute.
First grandchild on Monday. So I've been up. My son is a lawyer, a partner in a law firm in Springfield, and so the last 3 days I've been up to Rogersville to see my grandchild, which amazes me. They change every single day. So pretty excited, proud about that first grandchild. Anyway, happy Father's Day to all you fathers.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
It's 250th year of America, and we're celebrating the anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. I'm wondering if you could make any comments about that and what commitment every candidate has to upholding the Constitution.
Right. Well, you know, that's it's exciting to see about that. I was reading recently about the Bill of Rights and the different rights established in that. And that's interesting for people who've never read them to just Google it. We can Google anything these days. Is it Google the Bill of Rights? And it just talks about the first 10 Bill of Rights that established, you know, for everybody. And then the amendments that came later, you know, actually some's been revoked. Prohibition, the 18th Amendment was revoked by the 21st Amendment. So sometimes they revoke an amendment that they enacted. So there's different things that you can see about that, but that's how the system is supposed to work. So when I say I'm apolitical, I'm not talking about politics, I'm just talking about the great system that we have. And some people talk about how, I actually had a gentleman that came when I ran last time. He was in the office on something. He says, he told me, he said, Judge, can I talk to you a second? I said, sure. He said, unfortunately, I've had several cases in front of me. I said, I know. And he said, I just want to tell you, he said, sometimes you ruled for me, and sometimes you ruled against me. He said, but I want you to know that even when you ruled against me, I felt like you were fair. And I thought, what a commitment, or what a commendation to say that. Even when he ruled, even when I ruled against him, he thought I was fair about it. And people don't know what many judges go through is a struggle. You know, someone you're trying to decide for a family, it is a struggle mentally and emotionally for a judge to say, what do I do with this family? I try to talk them into trying to resolve it themselves. Because I even tell them, I say, look, it's my job to make the final decision, but you're going to be far happier if you can make your own decision instead of forcing me, a stranger, to do it. But it's my job. I get paid either way. So they do that. But the fact that we have that system in place and guaranteed due process and the things that go along with that, primarily with the articles of the Bill of Rights, it's just amazing how we apply those today. And we apply them every day. Now, once you become a judge, you have the experience, you do that automatically. It's just automatic. I'm going to read your right. I'm going to read this charge to you. I'm going to read the range of punishment. I'm going to read the rights to you every time. So, as the clerks will tell you, I don't have to look up what the rights are because I know them by heart. So, read them to them, make sure that they're aware of that. Do my best to follow it. So, judges aren't perfect. That's why we have a court of appeals. Sometimes they will tell me I'm not perfect. But fortunately, most of the time they have told me you got it right. And that's always satisfying when they do that. Any other questions?
I was just going to say, you practiced in Kansas City?
No, I went to law school in Kansas City, practiced in Springfield with a law firm for 5 years.
Okay, so that was like a bigger town, so I was going to say if you were in Kansas City practicing, would it have been easier to like do your job up there not knowing the people in the community? Because you said that it's really kind of pulls on you when you know the family and have to make a decision for them because you know them, you're from this area.
Well, it doesn't, if I'm too closely related to them, I recuse from the case. So I don't stay on the case if it's someone that I have a connection with, you know, it's too close, and it's up to me. Sometimes it's automatic if it's a relative. But lots of times I just have to decide, am I too close to this case to be fair? And so sometimes someone doesn't know why I get out of the case. Well, I get out of this case because not everyone knows about this, but you know, when I was a practicing lawyer, I did a case for this person. So I get out of the case because I don't want someone to hold that against me. And I don't want someone, even though I would try to be fair, I had one recently where they wanted me to recuse from the case. And so I did, I got out of the case. And I thought, well, why do they want me out of the case? Well, the reason is because of a certain situation, they thought I might be more inclined towards this way. That's just, I don't operate that way. If I feel like I might be more inclined, I get out. They don't have to be a relative for me to get out of it. If I'm too close to it for whatever reason, I get out of the case. But that's okay because I get assigned the cases where other judges get out. So they get out of cases in Howell County and Shannon County. Right now, even though I'm on vacation this week having a grandson, I'm covering for the Shannon County judge who is on vacation. So we cover for each other like that. So when I get out of a case, it gets paid back because I cover for them. So thank you. Any other questions? Appreciate your vote.
Harvey has an opponent. I didn't see him sign in. Justin Nelson. Justin Nelson is not here. And I'm looking at a lot of watermelon over there. It's kind of hot. There's some cut in that box over there. If you quietly walk up there and pay attention to the speaker, you can get some watermelon. All right. Don Holman, did you talk? Don Holman. You did not talk. She's going for a recorder of deeds, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm the recorder of deeds, the incumbent. I've lived here in Missouri now for 41 years, married to my husband Mark, have 3 daughters, a son, and 2 granddaughters. I've worked in the courthouse since 2003. I started out working 20 hours in the circuit clerk's office and 20 in the recorder of deeds office. In 2012, I was appointed by the commission to fill the vacancy of the recorder of deeds. I was appointed by the governor in February 2013. In the recorder's office, we record deeds, plats, surveys, we issue marriage licenses, we record DD 214s, which are military discharge papers. Serve on 3 boards, Faith Inc., which is a local organization, the Emergency Food and Shelter Board, and was recently appointed by the Secretary of State's office to the local records board. So I'm looking forward to doing that. This is my 4th term. I'm excited about that. Looking forward, I'm sure as the rest of you are, to all of this being over with. So everybody be sure and get out and vote. August 4th, I think, is the primary, and November 3rd is the general election. Thank you for allowing me to serve you for the last 23 years. I appreciate it.
I might have put a check mark in the wrong place. I'm gonna check later on, but Babe Reese is here.
Here. Last one to sign in.
She's running for county clerk.
Yes.
Against the incumbent Tracy.
Yes, hi, my name is Babe Reese. I'm married to Jimmy Reese, and I moved up here, I think about 3 years ago, and fell in love with this community. It's an amazing community. I come from a small town myself, and just listening to each one of the people stand up here, the candidates, and speak, it's like I can feel their passion for this county. And I've worked in office settings throughout my whole professional career. Hospice, Legacy Hospice out of Harrison was dear to my heart because it was service. I enjoy serving and helping and meeting people. And with hospice, I was over 22 offices, and I was office manager supervisor, and I traveled and I opened offices and I helped hire and train, and then to go out on calls with nurses if they needed me to do paperwork, I would do that. I am the mother of 2 grown children. I have 6 grandbabies, well 5, 1 on the way, and it's all about family. It's all about family, it's all about community and supporting one another. I enjoy that. And just to see, like, speaking with him about being in this area and being the judge and doing cases, and thank you for talking about your, I guess, drug court, because that's important. I mean, that is something that touches every person, family at some point in time, is that in some way, some addiction. So to know that there is something in process to maybe help, benefit, and bless, and get them on the right track. So that was exciting to me. And yes, I'm running for your Oregon County Clerk, and I would appreciate your vote. In November, I guess it is when I'm up for that. But I've enjoyed meeting each and every one of you.
You still involved in hospice?
I am not. I moved up here, so I had looked into different hospice companies, but it just didn't line up. But yeah, that's an amazing service. Hospice is on all levels, from the administration right on down to the CNA. It's been beautiful. Yes.
My idle boss count. Did everyone get a chance to speak that's running for office? But I didn't put a couple of check marks by some names, and I put numbers to the left, and old people get confused, and I'm pretty confused. So if everyone has already given a speech, I would say that you can go around and talk to,
What
yes?
about Keith Elliott?
Hey, Rip's been standing there. He's behind you though, Larry. He's behind you.
He didn't sign the paper.
He didn't sign in.
Maybe there's somebody.
he's
who
there.
wants to-
Well, you're supposed to be the detective and find him. There he is.
Mr. Elliott, I am sorry, I couldn't sign you in.
Easy to forget.
I was out here hollering, sign in, sign in. You were busy talking.
I was talking.
All right, go right ahead. And thanks for, if you raise your hand when I said, did anybody not talk?
I did.
That's
But
why
I'm
you-
glad to. I'll
All right, you're up.
We'll let you off then, Larry.
Now, he's been here once or twice, once maybe. And, he's been here, and we followed you to Donovan one day to give you some paperwork you were asking about. And then I went to Birch Tree at a Cattlemen's Association meeting. It wasn't the Cattlemen's Association, but that was great too. And I was glad that you got invited. Go ahead, you have the floor.
Okay. Well, I'm Keith Elliott. I'm your state representative, District 153. I don't have an opponent in the primary, but you know, I just thinking about this. When I was here before at the last event, and I was campaigning. I was starting the first campaign that I'd ever been involved in my life. When it comes to campaigns and a lot of state government, I was as green as that grass out there. And the things I was saying that night, you know, nobody's going to outwork me, and I am a Christian conservative. I'm Christian first, conservative second. And I'm a cattleman, not a politician. I told everybody then I don't even like politicians. Well, one of the couple of things that have changed since I've been up there for 2 years, one is, as Harvey, I've got my first grandchild on the way in August, and I'm super excited about that. The other thing is, I like politicians less than I did 2 years ago. It is a brutal place to be, and kind of something that Dave kicked on a while ago. Everything, you know, I went up there to fight for my district. I think I have the best district in the state simply because it's folks just like you. All the way across my district, it's the third biggest district in the state. I'm running constantly to get to everybody because there's just a lot of needs out there. There's a lot of folks needing stuff. And just want to make sure and be involved. I'm more about taking care of my constituents than I am about getting bills passed. We had roughly 3,000 bills filed this year. And all of that's paid for by your tax dollars. And there's people writing those up and doing all the work to get those ready. And it's insane, the things that go on that I've seen. It's just been very frustrating. But what I did was what I said I was going to do. I went up there to fight for you and Ripley and Carter and Wayne and Shannon and Oregon, all the counties I have, a little piece of Howell. I went up there to fight for you, and I can tell you that is not popular. One of the main reasons I ran to begin with, number one, is I felt God leading me to this. I travel light. I'm not married. My only daughter is out of the house. I have a lot of cows as my dependents, so I had to figure that out. But I just travel light, and it was a place that I felt like I could be involved and do some good. Plus the fact I was sick and tired of what I was seeing our state government and our federal government do. There's just so many things to be frustrated about. And like I say, you go up and you fight for rural districts, you ain't making any friends. So luckily for me, I have a lot of friends, and I didn't need to make any when I got there. But I want to go over a few of the bills that I've worked on and some stuff we've kind of got rolling I'm pretty excited about. But one I talked about the last time I was here about the MCOOL legislation. Filed a resolution both years, last 2 years, to get MCOOL reinstated for our beef producers at the federal level. It's just a resolution to ask the...
I know that's country of origin, but could you tell them what that is?
Yeah, mandatory country of origin labeling. So all this garbage beef that's coming in from outside the country, it's going to force them to label it and say where it comes from. We're not saying you can't bring it
but give the consumers the option to look at it and say, well, this is from Argentina. I think I'd rather buy that than American beef. But we raise the best product, not only in America, but right here in the state of Missouri. We raise the best beef in the world, in my opinion, and we ought to get the credit for that. So all this stuff is piled up, thrown on the rack, on the retail racks. You buy it, you don't know what you're getting. It could be beef, it could be hamburger mixed up from cattle from 50 different countries. And I just want folks to know that. So in any case, the first year that went through committee, it passed with flying colors. And there were so many representatives on that committee had no idea that this was an issue, had no idea what MCOOL even was. It passed with flying colors. The first year I was blown away at the opposition that I had. And they come at me ferociously. And it's all the organizations that you would say, that don't make sense. That's not who I thought would be fighting on this. So we got it back. I filed it again this year. Got it through the legislative committee. Again, it went through with flying colors. I had, that I think passed unanimously. I finally got it to Rules Committee. It passed almost unanimously there, and then it died because our leadership does not want to see this happen. So there's the powers that be, and where all the money's laying are fighting it. They don't want to see it happen. I've got a commitment from our new speaker coming up this year that he promises me he will bring it to the floor and bring it to the floor early so I can get it sent to the Senate quickly and we can see if we can make it happen. And all this is doing is we as a state are just asking the federal government to reinstall MCOOL legislation so we can have a fair market for our homegrown beef. Another bill I filed was, we all know we got SROs in the public school systems. We also have the ability in the state of Missouri for public schools, if you have a certification, if you're a certified teacher, administrator, and you meet all the qualifications and the concealed carry okayed by the board, you can carry a weapon inside the school system and be a school protection officer. Okay, that's just for certified staff. The problem is when you have a school, for me, such as Williamsville or Kosh or Couch, probably would be my best example, and you have all law enforcement is at least 20 minutes away. It's going to be a 20-minute response time and a very limited number of certified teachers. There's just not many there. They may not be the most qualified. So I filed a bill that would allow classified staff, which is going to be bus drivers, cafeteria workers, janitors, who might be a retired Marine and be the most qualified to handle a weapon inside that situation and address some suspect coming into school. So got that bill through committee, even had the liberals who didn't vote against it. They come up and they said, we understand what you're trying to do and we appreciate it, but we can't vote for it, but we'll vote present. So that's what they did. And because I told them, you know, we're 20 miles out, 25 miles out from any law enforcement. We've got to have every advantage we can get. So got that through. It passed with flying colors. Never got to Rules Committee. It was sent to a Rules Committee where a lady, her comment, her exact words were, if you want your bill heard in my committee, you have to come kiss the ring. So I told her what she could do with her ring, and I never got my bill heard again. However, it was appreciated enough that while we're in session one day, my buddy from St. Genevieve leans over. There's a bill coming from the Senate, had several pieces to it, and he says, Keith, your bill is in here. And so I peel this thing open, we start looking at it. What they had done, they give it to somebody else, and the senator picked it up. He put it in. So they're going ahead and going to do it, and it's going to end up going through. They're just never going to give me credit for it, which I'm okay. I think it's kind of funny, honestly. But the next one was, I guess, the biggest one that I'm the most excited about. We had the tornadoes that come through here a year ago, March. Everybody remembers that? Those tornadoes tore up 4 of my counties. Wayne, Ripley, Oregon, and Carter. And it come through So we have, and many of you may know this, that there's a big hole of coverage. If you ever listen to Grant Dave, he tells it about it every other time he's on news, giving the news. But a big hole that goes up from the Arkansas state border and goes right up through the middle of the state. The closest towers are Little Rock, Springfield, and Paducah. So we have this big hole that we don't have any coverage. If a tornado or any storm cell system is lower than 13,000 feet, it never gets picked up. And it is good luck District 153. So the storms a year ago, March, we had 12 people killed in the state of Missouri. And that set of storms that tore us all up. And 6 of those people who lost their lives were in my district in Wayne County. And so right then, that's when I'm figuring out and finding out what all's going on and what the process is, and that we have this hole. I want to see something happen, because I mean, it wrecked here, but it wrecked Piedmont. And so I went to work on that immediately. Got in too late. They wouldn't even hear me present it to appropriations to get some towers. I've done priced them. We were looking at around $4 to $5 million for 2 towers. I wanted one in Van Buren and one in Dexter. And the reason we picked those is I had got with a guy, the factory that builds these Doppler towers is in St. Louis, a local builder. He was working with me to try and make this happen, and he sends me grids of what the coverage looked like. So as I get all this put together, they wouldn't even hear me the first year. You know, you're a freshman. They just, and like I say, I'd already kind of hit the hornet's nest a little bit as soon as I got there, for a lot of you folks who keep up with anything. So they wasn't hearing it. This year, over the interim last year, in the summer, I called the budget chair, Dirk Pete, and I said, Dirk, this is something I want. I know you're not going to give me much. I know, and I really don't care. I don't care to have my name on a bill. I'm never going to be famous. Don't care to be. But we need a tower over here. We've got 6 folks that have lost their lives, and there's going to be more. We deserve a little coverage here. He said, get with me the 1st of January. So I stayed on him, and we got that process rolling. As many of you might know, we were cutting the budget this year because they had spent like drunken sailors on a bunch of free federal money. And instead of withholding anything or making good decisions, they just all grabbed it like a bunch of kids jumping into a pile of candy and took whatever they could get and getting their appropriations going. And now the money's gone, and now we have to start cutting it back. So somebody's going to face a lot of heartburn. It's coming up, and it's coming up fast. So we were looking at cutting the budget by $2 billion this past year. And so I'm staying on top of the budget chair. I go in probably about 3 weeks from crunch time, and I said, I just need to know, are you going to do it? Where are we at? And he said, and I couldn't believe this, he said, you can't tell anybody this. He said, everybody that's coming in, I'm telling no on everything, because we can't increase the budget either. We got to cut it. But he said, I'm leaving yours in. And that's strictly by the grace of God, I'll just tell you.
Amen.
So it has moved on. It went to the Senate. The Senate immediately cut it out, which I had already ran my traps. And I've been to about 3 or 4 senators' office telling the story, and I need this in there. You know, we've got, I don't think I won't let the world know about it if you don't help me here and do something. This is your people too. What ended up coming out of that, they cut 1 tower off. I had done Jude, the guy in St. Louis, down to $4 million, is the most it was going to cost us. So they cut 1 out, got it down to $2 million, and ended up leaving 1 tower in that budget. They wanted to put it at Dexter, and most of us would know why, because there's a lot more horsepower at Dexter. There's a lot more money at Dexter, a lot more people at Dexter. But when I explained to them and went over it with them, I told them I want this thing in Van Buren. Van Buren is to the west. We'll have coverage coming all the way from the west side of the state, all the way across right up to Dexter. The tower from Paducah will pick up the other side of Dexter. So it ain't like, but if they put it in Dexter, then almost all of our district would be uncovered again. And so anyway, after going through that, as of right now, that tower is still sitting inappropriate, well, it's sitting on the governor's desk right now in the budget. And just hopefully it's a good prayer request that that tower is left in there. The governor was with me in Piedmont that day, and we toured the damage over there. So he knows, and he knows what I'm talking about. And there's also been a little bit of money allocated from Dexter, who said they would help us to get this tower in Van Buren. So a lot of things have really come together, and just tickled to death about that. But we'll see where that goes. The governor's gonna have to line item veto a bunch of stuff to make everybody happy, and so we'll just see and keep our fingers crossed. But rather than go on about a whole bunch of stuff, I would rather answer questions you have. There's been a lot going on. There's a lot of crap gets divvied out at the Capitol every day we're in session. And then even more probably when we're not up there.
I have a question. If you need a letter of support for this tower from the Oregon County Commissioners, we will provide you with one.
Absolutely. Anything would be a blessing.
Count on it.
Has the redistricting, is that all been taken care of now, or is that still up in the air? Is that done in Missouri?
No, it's done.
It's done. Good.
Yeah.
I didn't know if
And we should have gained one seat with that.
Okay,
I do, and I'm terrible with that stuff. I hate Facebook, I hate websites, so, but I'll give you a number, you can call my LA and she'll hook you up with everything you need.
If anybody else has any questions for him, why don't we go ahead and break up a minute, and you guys, we got soda, water, and watermelon over there, and you can speak one-on-one with Mr. Elliott, if that's okay. Because I don't want anybody falling out here. It's not quite that hot.
I had communicated with you